All right, you guys, let's pop into creating some crystal grids. So in this module, there are some printable templates. So if you want to print out a template and use the template, by all means, they're there for you to use. If you want to just use a blank slate, a surface without a template and recreate the design, you can do that as well. So let me show you exactly how to do that. Let's say we're going to create a square crystal grid, and we want to create for power and strength and prosperity. Okay, so let's start off with a square grid with a seed of life in the center of it. So you're simply just going to place your grid down. So as you can see here, we have two squares, one square here and one square here, encompassing circles. And we know that squares are amazing for protection, for strength, for clearing energy out, purifying energy. And we know that crystals, circles are amazing at bringing health, wealth, love, and prosperity. And so I'm going to use this crystal grid specifically for strength, protection, and prosperity. So when I think of strength and protection, that's going to be root chakra, so that's going to be a darker crystal. So I've chosen to use an obsidian tower in the center of this specific crystal grid. And you can see it is a pyramid, so it's got the point at the top and the 4 points at the bottom, which will be producing energy out among these squares. Now, when I also think of strength, what makes somebody strong? Someone who is confident, someone who has great self-esteem, someone who loves themselves. That brings strength in my eyes. So citrine is a crystal that comes to mind because citrine promotes all of those emotions. And so I'm going to go ahead and put citrine at the 4 corners of this particular square here. And then what else makes somebody strong? When someone can speak their voice, speak their truth, stand up for themselves. And so that's going to be a throat chakra crystal. So sodalite is one of my throat chakra crystals that I absolutely adore and admire. So I'm going to put 4 sodalite stones at this particular crystal, or this particular square. So now we've got our self-confidence, our self-esteem, our self-worth in the citrine. We have our voice, our speaking our truth, standing our ground in the sodalite. And we have the strength, the protection in the obsidian, grounding us and holding us steady in our bodies. So this would be a complete crystal grid, but because there's no quartz in this crystal grid, I want to add an outer layer of clear quartz points to be able to enhance the energy of this crystal grid. So I'm going to go ahead and just layer clear quartz at the end of each point in this crystal grid on the outside. So you can see there that we've got clear quartz points at the end of every single point here. I'm gonna add, what else can I add? Let me go ahead, because I want to separate the citrine. I'll just leave this point empty. The clear quartz can handle that. Now you want to activate your grid, and it's best to activate with a wand with the crystals that are inside. So I can use a citrine wand, I can use a sodalite wand, or I can use a clear quartz wand. So I'm going to go ahead and use my sodalite tower that I can use as a wand here. And so how you activate is you're going to go from the center and you're going to set your intention now. So my intention for this grid is for protection, for safety, for prosperity. So I charge this grid. I'm going to hold my hand over the grid. I charge this grid with protecting myself and my household, giving us strength, giving us health, giving us prosperity among everyone in this home. And now I'm going to connect each one of these crystals with the center stone using my wand so that it can activate. This is called activating the grid. It can activate all of these stones to work harmoniously in achieving the intention set, manifesting that in my home. So I'm going to touch the point, go to this sodalite, and then go back, and then touch the next crystal, and then go back. And you're going to go in a clockwise motion, and you're just activating these crystals. And you go with all the stones inside, and then you move outside. So now this grid is activated. You can leave your point or your wand in the grid if you want. Another thing that some people do is they will burn a candle as well to activate the energy within the grid. And so you would just take a little votive candle, you would light it, and you would let it burn all the way down. And some people believe that when that candle is burned down, then the grid is fully activated. So that's how you would set a grid, and you would set the intention, you would activate the grid, and then you would let the candle burn until it was completely burned out, and then that grid is ready to perform. And you can leave this grid up for weeks or months, however long you want. If it does collect dust, you want to make sure to dust the grid. If anything is knocked out of place, you want to make sure to reset it and then reset the intention. Okay, you guys, here's another grid pattern. This is a hexagon with the flower of life in the center of it. So this is another powerful grid. And what we're going to do is with this grid, because it's a hexagon, I'm going to go with quartz crystals, because quartz crystals are also made up of hexagon shaped atoms within them. And so with this grid, because it's going to be a quartz, I'm going to make this a love and relationship grid. Now, I could use blue quartz or I could use clear quartz. I don't have any rose quartz towers, so I'm not going to go with a rose quartz. I'm going to start it off with a clear quartz point, like so, right in the center. So again, you guys can see where all of the circles meet right here in the center, creating this flower shape. So I'm going to put my clear quartz right here in the center. You can see that it's terminated to a point at the top. Maybe I'm going to go with a different quartz. I like this one better. It stands up straighter. So because this is a love and relationship grid and we're using quartz, I'm going to use rose quartz for the corners of this particular hexagon. So I've got my rose quartz here, and I'm just going to set it up. Very simple. So here's my rose quartz and my clear quartz. Now this has got quartz in it, so this is strong enough. Let me ask my pendulum if this is strong enough. Is this rose and clear quartz strong enough to promote love within my relationships? So you guys can clearly see that that's a circle, so that's a yes. Okay, I'm going to ask it, should I add clear quartz points to the exterior of this grid, or should I leave it as is? So that's a clear no. You guys see it going back and forth. So it's saying this grid is strong enough just the way it is. So we're going to go ahead and activate this grid. Let me see. I don't have my clear quartz point broke, and I don't have a rose quartz tower. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to use fluorite, since fluorite is really good for love. And I'm going to go ahead and activate, or I'm sorry, I need to start with the north one. So you always start with the top and you go in clockwise. So I charge this grid with unconditional love within my relationships. And you only need to go once. I'm going twice just because I started twice with this one. So it's already charged, it's gridded, it's activated, it's ready to go. So again, you can leave this up for a couple of months if you want. This is going to promote unconditional love in relationships and unconditional love for myself. So this is a love grid or a relationship grid. Very simple. You only need 5 stones. And this is very inexpensive, very easy, very powerful grid. Now, if you guys don't have a tower or a wand where you can activate it, you don't have to. You simply would just place your hands over it to get your energy in there and say, I charge this crystal grid with unconditional love and with helping love be restored within my relationships. And you feel the heat come on, and then you're good. Okay, you guys, we have the flower of life grid here, as you can see, and I'm going to do a abundance and wealth grid for this particular one. So I'm going to enhance the wealth portion of this grid. So I'm going to be placing $100 underneath the center stone of this grid, I'm going to choose again a clear crystal quartz. I'm going to choose a bigger one. You know, I'm going to choose my big tower. So here I'm placing the $100 underneath the clear quartz. And then I really love to use pyrite, calcite, and carnelian in my money or prosperity grids. So I'm going to start off with the pyrite, and I'm actually going to go with my smaller pyrite stones. So I'm going to put my pyrite in the center of the flowers around this wealth stone. And then I'm going to do an outer circle of carnelian, of striped carnelian. Which I really love for abundance and wealth and prosperity. And you guys can see I'm putting them right at the points where the circles are meeting. That's where I'm placing my crystals. So let's do that. So I'm going to put my clear quartz points right in front of each one of my carnelian pieces. And you always have the clear quartz points pointing outwards to push the energy out. Is this crystal grid complete? It's saying that it is not complete. Should I add orange calcite to this crystal grid? Yes. Okay, so I'm going to replace these clear points with carnelian. I'm actually going to line up my orange carnelian with my pyrite pieces. I feel good about that. And again, I'm just letting my intuition lead me in that guidance of where to place this orange carnelian. I'm listening to my intuition. And as you guys are seeing, this crystal grid is getting wider than the paper, and that's fine. Okay, and then because it said it needed clear quartz, I'm going to add the clear quartz above the carnelian, or above the calcite, but again lined up with my carnelian facing outwards. Now let's ask if this is powerful enough. Is this crystal grid for prosperity and wealth complete? All right, it's happy with that, guys. So now we need to activate it. So because it's a clear quartz, I don't have a clear quartz tower, but I do have clear quartz point. So I'm simply just going to use a clear point wand. You can see it's terminated at the top, it's flat on the bottom. So I'm going to activate that. So first I'm going to set my intention. I charge this crystal grid with bringing wealth and prosperity and abundance into my life. And so I'm going to again start at the center stone, and I'm going to start counterclockwise. So I'm going to start with this pyrite and go back, next pyrite and go back, next pyrite, go back. And I'm just going in a clockwise position. Then I'm going to start with the carnelian. Oops. Then I'm going to start with my orange calcite. And then I'm going to start with my clear quartz. All right, this crystal grid is activated and ready to go to bring wealth and abundance into my life.